I was on the treadmill. I'm going and I'm listening to this webinar, and all of a sudden it hit me. Your unapologetic life. That is how I would describe what it is that I do. I empower women to love the body they're in, to be unapologetic about how they present themselves in this life. It hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like, yes, that is what that is. I am Morgan Barkis with Your Unapologetic Life. Or Your Unapologetic Life with Morgan Barkis, either way. I'll take you back many, many a year. I'm in my 40s now. Back then, early 20s. Did not think much of myself. Even younger than that, I used to refer to myself as a tree stump. That's how I described myself, that I didn't think very highly of myself. I didn't like that I was short. I was curvy, and I just didn't understand why I wasn't tall and thin. And I didn't accept myself. I certainly didn't love myself. All I did was criticize and see the worst. It didn't get any better in college because along with not already loving myself and the body I was in, I was having a hard time with the transition, leaving home for the very first time. You're an adult, but you're not really an adult when you're in college. And so I just felt lost, and I started really, the disordered eating was worse than ever, to be honest. And then, of course, I didn't like myself even more because of that. I didn't feel good, so my health was failing. I wasn't sleeping great. There wasn't a balance, and I almost felt like I didn't have any control of who I was, how I operated. Everything, it didn't seem, I felt isolated, if you will, because I was always thinking about how I was going to control myself. And then if I was out of control with my eating or my thinking, my negative thinking, then I would be even more down on myself and more disembodied, if you will. I was never like fully present. I wasn't fully present with friends. I wasn't dating. I didn't think much of myself. I had spent a lot of time alone in my dorm room. And that was a pretty dark time in my life. Like I said, the disordered eating was next level, and my self-esteem was in the tank. I felt very lost and alone. And I left college, and I'm in my 20s now, and I feel more empowered because now I'm on my own, and I'm an adult, and I have a job and a place of my own, and this, that, and the other. So that felt good. It gave me some self-esteem. And still, I was not in a great place. I wasn't present in my own body and with myself. And I would read books, and I went to therapy, and it was like intuitive eating and talking about accepting yourself and loving yourself. And I thought, yeah, right. Like, I'm barely surviving day to day here. Like, I'm not in a place, this is like woo-woo to me. And it was at that point. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s and I found a dance studio, an exotic dance studio for the everyday woman. And not only did I start taking classes, I was invited to teach. And it changed my life because now I was around women, because this matters too. I mean, if you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, I was around women that wanted to feel better, sexier, more confident, empowered, and there wasn't a focus on weight. There wasn't some transformation that was desired in terms of body. It was more attitude, and it blew my mind and changed my life. And from there, I changed my self-talk. I changed how I carried myself. I changed how I dressed. I wasn't obsessed with what I was eating, when I was eating it. I could go to social events and go to restaurants and not feel that crippling anxiety or dread. And the more I was around the positive women, the more positive I became. And the more that I changed, my life became more authentic. I became more authentic with myself. And I learned how to set boundaries and speak up for myself and feel powerful and feel confident and sexy. And I want to bring that to you. The way that we are in this world, we oftentimes as women see ourselves through a very critical lens. And that critical lens is not reality. It is this very myopic way of looking at ourselves, and we then also run our lives and how we interact with ourselves and other people in that filter or that lens. And I learned how to break free, and I want to help you break free so that you can finally not only accept yourself as you are, love yourself as you are. And because of that, things will change in your life. Your relationships with your friends will change. Your friend circle may change. Your relationship with partners will change. Your boundaries will change. Your expectations and your standards will change. And you might make different choices. Now suddenly you're going to feel more confident and more courageous and do things even though they scare you, but you're like, I'm going to go do that thing because I've always wanted to go do that thing. That is what your unapologetic life is about. That is why you're here, and that is why you want to work with me. Let's take this transformational journey together. When you work with me, you are working one-on-one intensively. It is going to be unique to you. It's going to be tailored to you. And we're going to work through all the things so that you can walk around in this life and finally love the body you're in. Click over to the discovery call page, book a discovery call with me, and let's get this party started.